Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is my pleasure to welcome everyone to today's webinar. The Honorable Ms. Yoshiko Yurugi, Chief Representative NEDO, Asian Representative Office in Bangkok, and also to our honorable speakers, Mr. A.G. Ohira, Dr. Insinyur Dadan Kusdiana, Master of Science, Professor Dr. Engineering Enia Listiani Dewi, Master of Engineering, Dr. Muhammad Abdullah bin Zaidel, Profesor Dato Insinyur Dr. Wan Ramli Wan Daud, Mr. Motohiko Nishimura, Mr. Satoshi Tanimura, Mr. Shinji Kondo, and Mr. Masaki Sakamoto, and all respectable participants for Future Outlook of Hydrogen and Energy in Southeast Asia, featuring Indonesia and Malaysia webinar. I am Adisti Gaisani. On behalf of NEDO, we are pleased to welcome all of you to the Future Outlook for Hydrogen Energy in Southeast Asia, featuring Indonesia and Malaysia webinar. This webinar was organized by the New Energy and Industrial Development Organization, NEDO, which is a Japanese government research and development management agency. Today's webinar will be divided into two sessions. We will begin the first session with the topic, energy policy of each country and outlook for hydrogen energy. And then we will have a 15 minutes break, and followed by the second session with the topic, introduction of Japanese hydrogen energy solutions. And I would like to inform you that in this webinar, there will be no Q&A session. So if you have any questions, you can submit all your questions into the questionnaire that we will provide by the end of the webinar. Before we start, we would like to listen to the opening remarks that will be given by Ms. Yoshiko Yurugi as the Chief Representative of Asian Representative Office in Bangkok of NEDO, Japan. Ms. Yoshiko Yurugi, time and screen are yours.
Well, thank you. And good morning, everyone. My name is Yurugi, Chief Representative of NEDO, Asian Representative Office in Bangkok. I'd like to thank all participants for attending our webinar. Also, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Mr. Dadan Kusdiana, Professor Enia Listiani Devi, Dr. Muhammad Abdullah bin Zaidel, Professor Wan Ramli Wan Daud, and all Japanese speakers for their cooperation in the lecture. NEDO is a public project management and funding agency under the Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry of Japan. NEDO aims to create innovation by promoting technological development. In Japan, we provide support to companies and research institutes in energy fields such as renewable energy, energy saving, and hydrogen energy. We also cover industrial technology fields such as AI and robots. In the field of hydrogen energy, which is also the topic of today's webinar, Japan has played a leading role in the world. In 2009, home fuel cell cogeneration system, NFR, and in 2014, the fuel cell vehicle, FCV, were commercialized for the first time in the world. Furthermore, Japanese government announced the basic hydrogen strategy in 2017, which is the first national strategy for hydrogen in the world. Since its establishment in 1980, NEDO has played a core role to promote technology development of hydrogen energy in Japan for a long time. We are promoting carbon neutral energy used by developing elemental technologies and building supply chains for the safe use of hydrogen from the perspectives of production, storage, transportation, and utilization. Recently, the efforts toward hydrogen in the world have accelerated significantly. NEDO, together with the Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry, held a hydrogen energy ministerial meeting in which 35 countries, regions, and organizations participated apart from technology development. It also extending to global harmonization. This webinar is targeted at Indonesia and Malaysia. Indonesia is rich in natural resources and has the potential to produce, consume, and supply the most hydrogen in the region if the conversion to green energy progresses significantly. Malaysia is also rich in natural gas and an important partner for Japan. The state of Sarawak is already making efforts to build a hydrogen economy. It advances other regions in Southeast Asia in hydrogen utilization. When the era of mass production and mass consumption of hydrogen arrives, we believe that both countries can become important partners for Japan. I also hope Indonesia and Malaysia will get to know each other's current situation and form a new cooperative relationship, including exchanging information with each other. Our activity has stagnated due to the coronavirus pandemic, but our thoughts are not affected by it. I hope this webinar will help you think about what you can do when the coronavirus eases. Through this webinar, I hope for new collaborative projects between Japan and Indonesia, Malaysia, and the rest of Southeast Asian countries. NEDO will cooperate with the government agencies, while Japanese companies will cooperate with private companies in each Southeast Asian country. I'd like to make efforts to create a win-win relationship between the two countries. We are also looking forward to hearing from you about specific cooperation, so please feel free to contact NEDO. Last but not least, we'd like to express our gratitude to all speakers and the related organizations supporting this webinar. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Yoshiko Yurugi, for the remarkable opening speech.
NEDO